Hello and welcome back to Laz Unleashed with myself, Laz Michaelides. I've just watched the London derby come to an end, so Arsenal won 3-2. It was a really interesting game and a good London derby as well, so I thought this is my instant match reaction and kind of analysis, if you like, of it. Yeah, really good game and an interesting start. A crazy first half because in the first 20 to 25 minutes, I think it's easy to say that Tottenham were the better team, but we found ourselves 3-0 down, which was really a tough one to take because we played well. Our build-up play was good. We looked confident. We dominated possession. The passing was pretty slick and good. We were getting the forward runners in behind their defensive line, and we looked like we had a fair few shots. I think after half an hour we had five shots to Arsenal's two, but Arsenal's two both went in, and that's what matters. So yeah, but Arsenal, they were clinical in the first half, definitely clinical, compact defensively, and confident as well. They knew what their jobs were, they knew what they had to do, and they did it really well. They defended very, very well in the first half, and we weren't able to break through and get the goals that ultimately, mattered and ended up losing. Now, there is the penalty shout, which I thought was very harsh on Tottenham. I didn't think the ref had a great game today, to be honest. And that goes for both sides, not just against Tottenham, but I think there was a few decisions he made against Arsenal that could have been the other way around as well. Now, if you look at the penalty, Kulusevski has been honest, and he's done his best to stay on his feet because he's a clean player, maybe. But if he'd have gone down, you can't help but feel the ref would have given the penalty from that. He's given the ball and he's gone to make the run to receive the ball again, and regardless of whether Trossard lightly touched him, accidentally touched him, he's impeded him. He has stopped Kulusevski getting back to the ball, and so that's a foul. So it should have been a penalty, and if that was a penalty, then Tottenham perhaps go 1-1, or was it 2-0 at that stage? So I think it was 2-0 already. So Tottenham go 2-1 instead of 2-0, and then Arsenal don't score on the break. So that was a big moment, I think, one that got wrong. The Maddison one wasn't a penalty. I think he had the right to go down, but the defender got the ball before he got Maddison. So Kulusevski's one I thought was definitely a foul. And like I said, if that goes in, if we get the penalty and we score, then the dynamic of the game changes. But literally 30 seconds later, the ball's up the other end and they score. Arsenal exposed our weak point today, which was Ben Davies, and Ben's been a great server of the club. He's done well in previous years, but he's no Destiny Udogie, and I think Destiny probably gets back. He has more pace, he gets to that ball, and almost like Van der Ven against who did we lose 4-0 to? Newcastle, where he just slipped. We had Davies do that against Saka in this occasion. So yeah, really unfortunate first half, but Postecoglou did what he hasn't done in recent weeks, and he made changes almost immediately. Bentancur came off, Sarr came on, and then at the start of the second half, we had a few big changes. Johnson came on, Basuma came on, and then into the second half, Maddison comes off and Richarlison comes on. And this was really good and really, good reactive thinking from Postecoglou, which, like I said, he's been lacking in recent games and recent months and recent weeks. So very positive in that sense. And from that moment on, from about the 60th minute, we looked like a good team. We looked like a team that were playing together. The game from about 40 minutes to about 60 minutes, the game went a bit flat. It didn't look like Tottenham had any ideas. We didn't have that attacking spark, and Arsenal looked kind of comfortable. But then when our first goal went in, the mistake from Raya, we looked rejuvenated. And this is what we do under Postecoglou. We kind of get a sniff of blood and we sort of try and, chase it down and try and get the result. But I thought it was an interesting game, and I think, like I said, if the refs had got it right or VAR had done their job, then I think the dynamic of the game changes. So I actually think, if I'm being honest, I think Arsenal were pretty lucky, and I don't think they deserved the win. And I consider myself a very fair football fan. I'm not biased. I don't wear my white hat and say, everything about Arsenal is bad. I'm a very, very fair fan. And Arsenal's football has been fantastic this season. It's been excellent to watch, so that's just me admitting it so that people know I'm not biased or have an agenda. But I do genuinely think that they were lucky today, because if the correct decisions would have been made, then the score going into half-time would have been different, and we looked on top in the second half. And I know there's lots of what-ifs, so if we'd gone into the half-time at 2-1, would he have made the same substitutions as he did when we were 3-0 down? So there's a lot of what ifs, but looking back on it, Arsenal, I didn't think they played their best game, but this has been the story of their season. Well, no, that's not true, actually. Arsenal have been great all season, but they've had moments where they haven't looked amazing. But they come away with the result because, like I said, they are clinical in finishing. They've got great defence where they're holding everything together and keeping so many people out. I think we did well to get 2 goals. Now, one of them was a bad keeper's mistake and the other one was a penalty. So that just tells you all you need to know about Arsenal's defence. It is pretty strong. And they have a confidence. They're playing under Mikel Arteta, who's obviously worked out a great strategy, great tactics that he's delivering to these young players, and they're executing the plan. So, yeah, so where does this leave Tottenham now? It's, knowing our luck, again, in the same vein of me not being a biased fan, I actually couldn't really care less about, I don't want to win this game so that we stop Arsenal's title hopes. I want to win this game because Tottenham want to win this game and get Champions League. I don't really care about Arsenal. There was an interesting debate on TalkSport on Friday where Martin Keown was riling up and trolling all the Spurs fans trying to get a reaction out of us. Saying that, we just live for stopping Arsenal, and I tried to call in, but they actually they had Frank Warren on instead of me, which is a fair swap, I think. But I was going to say that if this was 2014 and Martin Keown was saying those things, I'd agree with him. I'd say, well, Spurs were like a 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th place team. Our happiness would come from stopping Arsenal. But in the years between that, from 2015 through to 2020, we've proven that actually with a good signings, a good manager, we can actually compete with Arsenal. And over the last 10 years, we have finished above Arsenal 40% of the time, I think it is, compared to them 60%. So we've shown that with the right things, we can compete with Arsenal. So my point is now we don't need to stop them. I know that in hopefully 3 or 4 or 5 years from now, Postecoglou does what we hope he's going to do, and he has a few good transfer windows. He gets the backing, he gets the team playing fully how he wants. Then we can compete with Arsenal. So I don't really care that Arsenal. But the whole reason I said this is because I bet it would just be our luck now. I say our luck, Arsenal's luck, to go and draw with City or beat City and essentially hand the title to Arsenal maybe. So it's going to be really interesting. And even from a few months ago, people were like, well, Tottenham are going to have a big say in the title race because of who we play. We're playing City, Arsenal and Liverpool over the next few weeks. So, yeah, we're not in a good position. It doesn't look like we're going to get Champions League. Villa's draw yesterday gave us some hope because they could have gone 9 points clear of us. We've still got 2 games on them, but we're 7 points behind. So this could go down to the final day for us, which is really interesting because it will just make, it's been a crazy Premier League season because it could go down to the final day, the relegation, the title and the top 4. In terms of do I want top 4 in Champions League, the money that comes with it is obviously incredibly valuable and we can just shape the squad and give Ange a bit more money to bring in the players he wants. But if all being well, if we could just get that money some magical other way, then I'd take a season without Europe because I think Postecoglou needs another season building on what he's done. This has been a good bridging season, but now we need to start seeing results. We need to figure out how to play around teams who figure out our high line because that's what's undone us. Chelsea, Newcastle as well. They've outdone us by figuring out our system. So Postecoglou's got work to do. He needs to come up with a plan B for the occasions that we're found out. So I think I said this season anywhere in the top 10 would be really good because it's Postecoglou's first season. And he's not a proven manager like Conte and Mourinho, so we're not sure where he's going to come in and fit us. But yeah, so this result, I mean, it was a good North London derby. First half was obviously Arsenal's, second half was Tottenham's. So really interesting, and the last 5 minutes was really cool, and I thought we really could have done something there. But just too much dilly-dallying, passing the ball around the box when we just needed to get it in. And for God's sake, someone take a shot. I was willing Van der Ven to just put one in from the outside of the area to try and get us the draw. But yeah, I think that's it. That's my instant match reaction. Just trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say. After a 2-week break, I thought we looked good. The players still, Maddison since his injury has not looked the same player he was at the start of the season, which I think is quite worrying because he's our playmaker. We need him to come good again, or we need to sign someone in the summer to give him a bit of competition and start improving his play. Van der Ven, after his horrific game against Newcastle, I thought looked good. His speed is incredible, and like 2 or 3 times he got down Martinelli. He closed down Martinelli when he was through on the keeper. But yeah, overall, not a bad game. I thought we played well. I thought we looked good, and again with correct reffing and VAR decisions, the tide of the game could have turned another way. And you never know, if it was 2-1, Arsenal might have put their foot down and gone on to win 5 or 6-1. You'd never know, but you know, you can't help but feel that we were a little unlucky. We deserved, and I think, you know, by the law, we deserved that penalty. And I think Arsenal came away pretty, you know, at the end, trying to waste time going to the corners, Raya holding on to the ball. They were scared. They know what we have. They know we're an attacking threat. And they were worried at the end because they knew what we're like and we could have done something. So on another day, it would have been a different result. I think credit where it's due to Arsenal. Like I said, clinical, took their goals, finished it, essentially won the game in 30 minutes. But yeah, still I think with the way the game went after that, quite lucky and probably not fully deserving of the 3 points. But that is the little spiteful side of the little spiteful Tottenham fan side of me that's coming out. Just that last 10 seconds there. But yeah, onwards and upwards. Top 4 would be great this season, but top 5, I think, with the play we've shown, the kind of football and the style of football Ange has shown that he's going to bring to the club, I think it's all positive. Give him a full summer transfer window, give him the money to spend and get players in, and we may look good for next season. But I'll probably do like a post-season review. I think the 19th of May or the 16th of May, the final day of the season. So I'll do it after that. But anyway, it's been the North London derby. Arsenal came away with 3 points and Tottenham come away with nothing. But we looked okay. And on another day, it could have gone our way. So thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe to stay up to date with my content and latest videos. You take care and I'll see you very, very soon.